Hi there. I'm going to go over today how I got my students to do a quick project on, based on component three, changing the style of a song. So the song I gave them, which they were not very excited about, but it was fine, was Oasis Wonderwall. And the brief that I gave them was that they had to take that song and change it into a piece of dance music. The first task that I had for them was I gave them 10 minutes to go and research the features of dance music using the elements of music. And then we came together and put all that together, made a nice list, just bullet points. Um, and then we went and listened to Wonderwall to identify what instruments were in there. And then I got them to identify what the tempo of the song was and what the structure of the song was, because these were things that we identified that we could change quite easily, was the tempo and the structure of the song. And if we wanted, we could change the key. One of the things that I found really handy is Ultimate Guitar Tabs is great. So I've just searched for Oasis Wonderwall. um, I've got the pro version, but it I preferred this. This is just one that someone else has come up with. I know it says capo second fret, but I got them working with it in F sharp minor, which um this is not coming up. Oh no, it is because it's got the guitar. Um, so what I had them doing was you can click the piano section here, and it gives you what the piano parts look like. And it also gives you the strumming pattern there, which if you wanted to replicate that into Logic, BandLab, whatever, you could do. And then the chords would play exactly as you want them to. But I just wanted them to input all of this as it is just now according to the structure that's given. So the first thing to do is obviously start getting these chords in. I'm just going to move this out of the way. Um, I think everyone has different ways of setting up Logic, but this is my preferred way of doing it, just so I don't make too many mistakes. Um, and the first thing I said to them was about the rhythm. So I was like, I'm not going to stick to the rhythm that's there. I want to increase the rhythm that's there. So what I've done is I had it going did a little I had it going in quavers, just to kind of increase the the kind of feel of the chords. Sorry, I'm looking at two things. I'm trying to think of chords. What notes are in chords whilst I'm talking, and apparently that doesn't work very well. Um, so big fan of copy and paste. And we obviously identified that the chords change every two beats. Um, so copy and paste, copy and paste. This is a big thing that I have with them, is please use copy and paste. Fabulous. The original song is somewhere around about 90 BPM, I believe. So we've got, yeah. Sounds pretty standard at the minute. E, G, B. I didn't get them using sevenths. I know there are sevenths written in there, but I really didn't want to bother with that. It just seemed like an awful lot of effort. So what will I do? Did I? That's suspended fourth, and it does it. That one does use an E. Um, this comes in later because of what I do. In fact, you know what? No, I'm going to get rid of it. Um, in my one that I did today with them, I left that in. So if we leave this at the same tempo, round about the same tempo, so it's a really, really basic rhythm that I've got, and it kind of plods along. So the first thing I'm going to do is change that tempo, and I put mine up to 125. And I'm just going to copy and paste that a couple of times there. And we've got We discussed that. I feel like something went wrong there. It did. We discussed about drum beats as well, instrument sounds, and that we would change the instrument sounds to electronic instruments because that would make it sound like dance music. Dance music uses electronic instruments. So for the minute, I left that the way it was. The next thing I got them to do was put in drums. So I went for, and apparently I haven't even downloaded them all. Let's try this, see what it sounds like. That's not quite what I want. What's this one? Sure, that'll do. Why not? So just a standard electronic kit. It really, do you know what? It doesn't matter. I said to them if they weren't all downloaded, just get wherever you can. So one of the things we looked at was 4 to the floor rhythms. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've got perfect. I mean, already, even if I just loop this, it's got a nice kind of dance feel to it. The other thing that we discussed was syncopation, and we talked about the hi-hat. So what I did, I believe, was something along these lines, I think. No, that is not what I did. So that's what I did. I think that's not what I did. Got me questioning myself. There we go. And then it's too late in the evening. Let's get a snare in there. That's probably enough for snare. Oh, put it in the right place. There we go. It's the pressure trying to do this. There we go. And then we can just loop that very quickly. Perfect. The next thing I spoke about was getting them a bass line. So the easiest thing to do is just copy that down onto a new track. And for kids that like people that really struggle to do bass lines, I take the chords and just delete all of those. Then grab all of those lowest notes and generally move them down an octave, and then we'll go to synthesizers, bass, and I will pick something, not that. Yes, let's go with that. Let's see how that sounds. Maybe it should be a bit lower. We'll see what this sounds like. No, I'm cool with that. I think that sounds really quite good at the minute. I'm not a fan of using the loop function. What I like to do is copy them and paste them, because if I want to change something about the structure later on, you can't do that with loops. Well, it makes it just a little bit trickier. Now, the other thing that I've done, and I've taught them this is several times, is about like more along the production side of making effects and sound effects and things like that. So one of the things I taught them was a reverse cymbal sound, and they have overused that on everything that they've done, which makes me proud. It means they listen, they know what they're doing. But I wanted to get them to use that tool in another way. So I asked them to do the same with a chord, and to do it with the very first chord of the song. to give us an intro, because at the minute we don't have one, it just goes straight into the song. So I told them, grab everything, move it, and give yourself some space. The next thing that we need is another track, and then we're going to copy that down. So we're taking our chords again. So I've used these chords that I've done once a whole bunch of times at the minute. And what I'm going to do is I want to get rid of everything bar the very first chord. And I'm going to extend that chord so it lasts for at least one bar. Let's solo it, see what happens. There we go, beautiful. The next thing that I need to do to that is add reverb to it. So get reverb, choose any reverb, really doesn't matter, but we want this to be, the wet to be up, so we want to hear the effect. Let's loop that so we can hear it. Sounds all right. Turn up the decay so the room's bigger. Beautiful, make it a bit thicker. There we go, delightful. Then we bounce that in place, sorry. So right click, bounce in place, and just hit OK, and it will appear on a new track. This one will now be muted out. You don't really need that one anymore. So what we have is this, the audio version. To get that going backwards, you need to come down here and click File, Functions, and Reverse. I believe on older versions of Logic it was different. I think you could just right click and do it, but on the latest version of Logic you can't anymore. And then we just take that and we bring it to the very front of our song, and we have ourselves a bit of an intro. Which, if they start to add effects and everything to it, sounds really cool. But there could be more there. I think really I probably should have made that reverb longer, so that that lead in was a bit longer, so that when I take this, actually get rid of that one. I'm going to delete that so that I've just got kick drum. So now I've got a nice lead in, but we all know that if we listen to dance music, that's not quite how it goes at this part. So we'll double time, copy, paste, and oh, forgot about you. Get away. There we go. And we've got the next thing to do after that is probably start putting in the melody. I didn't get that far with them today, but definitely starting to put the melody in. And my next step with them is talking about how we kind of develop the structure, and what kind of catchy parts of the song that we can take and start to really work on. I know another thing that I did was, it was cheesy, but I really liked it, is start to get these shaker sounds in. But yes, definitely I'm kind of going to put the onus on them now to start thinking about the structure and how they want to change things, and that, you know, silence is good, silence is functional, silence works, and it gives them the opportunity, especially with dance music, to start putting in more effects like this this reverse chord that I've put in. If you were going to do a cymbal sound, you would do the exact same process. So you would go, you would turn, you need a drum kit, obviously. Drum kit, and I want a cymbal. Oh, let's go stop. I don't want that. Don't want cowbell. Do we want that one? That one's actually all right. I quite like that. So make it last nice long time. I'm going to extend that. I'm also going to turn the velocity up just so we've got a nice, quite hard hit on that. There we go. Actually, that sits quite well where it is. Reverb is the next thing that we need on that. So again, grab a reverb unit. If you want, you could probably use some of the presets that are up there. Oh, the first one that comes up is drum ambience. Isn't that nice? And I could just mess with those settings. Oh, let's turn that back down. Fine, go with that. At the minute, it doesn't really matter. Bounce in place. Yes, that's what we want. Mute that one out. Take that. File, functions, reverse. And then we can put it at the beginning. Actually, I'm going to unmute that because I think it might work quite well. Oh, I should have turned that back up. Didn't hit well for some reason, but we have the start of quite a convincing dance version of Wonderwall. It takes some very basic elements of dance music, which is these kind of quicker rhythms, so shorter note lengths, faster tempo, 4 to the floor drum beats, and the use of electronic instruments and some effects. I will get them to do things like frequency automation, and probably just get them to layer in some more of these little effects later on as they kind of build up their own structure. But that is a very quick way, I would say, to start meeting their criteria. If you can get them to do things like this very quickly, then that kind of 16 hours where they usually manage to waste it somehow, I don't know how, should be more productive. I'm hoping, obviously, for my own sake as well, that it is this year more productive. But that was just a very kind of quick how-to for my version of Wonderwall into a dance track. So I hope that's been helpful. If you've got questions, do post them to me and I'll do my best to answer.